It's good to see you guys. Going through the tape, a lot of positive things. On defense, really stood out. Probably our best game to date in terms of alignment and technique and effort to the ball and tackling. Just so impressed with our coaches and our players playing this well this late in the year. It's a credit to their willingness to learn and grow, and the coaches, their willingness to continue to see people, and hear people and value people, and really work to bring out the best in them. And so, way proud of that. I thought offensively there's a lot of battling through. It's been a long season, just injuries and bruises and things that kind of come along with playing football. And guys were pushing through. I thought the effort and the sacrifice was clearly out on the table. And guys playing green for their teammates was inspiring, And I thought the adjustments that were made on offense, I think, allowed some scoring drives to take place, because I thought Kansas State really had a good plan. And so, the chess match and on that part of it, I thought was very detailed. We're way down the rabbit hole on that one. And so a lot of positive things, coming out of that, assessing the team. I think every Sunday you got yourself a brand new team in terms of energy and in terms of mindset, in terms of health. And so really looking forward to attacking this week. Sonny Cumbie, when I was at Texas Tech as a grad assistant, and Sonny, for my 3 years I was there, he was our scout team quarterback, and I ran the scout team on offense for our offense, or for our defense rather. And so I had the scout team offense, and Sonny was my guy, man. And so just all the meetings. I remember some of the stories and just the weird things I say now, I would say to him then, and he would kind of take it in, and no facial expressions, and after a while he'd heard them before and everything. And so Sonny's one of my favorite all-time guys. And after I left, to see him have success when he finally got his opportunity is so cool. And it's crazy that I'm gonna see him on the other sideline like this, but excited for him. They're a dangerous team, a lot of talent, and their effort has been good. Sonny's got them playing hard. So, with that, any questions?
John Werner, Waco Trib. Dave, obviously it's a little different kind of week. Joey was on your staff, until a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Does that present an extra challenge? Will y'all have to change anything as far as signals and that kind of thing?
I think defensively, we're just going to be careful just with our signals. But really, outside of that, it's the opponent that's right in front of us. It's the things that we've put on tape. I think, offensively, Tech has shown that they're interested in opponent film, and if there's weaknesses, they attack it, and if there's things that have hurt you in the past, they notice it. And so I think that's a big part going into this game. I think continuing to block out the noise and keep the outside on the outside, and focus on developing the inside, and controlling the stuff you can control. I think there's a further test with all of that this week. And I think our ability to take the next step as a defense is doing that consistently, right? Is not relying on externals. And so I see that as really being the focus.
Curtis Quillen, KCEN. Coach, obviously you guys are one of two teams still vying for that second Big 12 championship game spot. What's the conversation like in the locker room in regard to that opportunity?
Don't really talk about it. I know that guys are going to acknowledge it, I'm sure. And I think, with Thanksgiving coming up, there's going to be family and friends, and I'm sure they're going to bring it up. But I think from our end, there's parts of that we don't control. I think, or I know what we do control is our effort and our mindset and our focus on Saturday morning. And I think much like the previous talk, for us to take the next step, it's to come out Saturday and be at our best, right? With not an eye towards what's happening later in the day, not an eye to looking back to maybe, hey, that Thursday dinner with the family was great, but to be totally in the present and totally connected, playing your best football. And I think it's easier said than done. And so I think we took a big step forward with our approach and our game this past Saturday. We're going to have to do it again.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Dave, kind of a two-parter here. Gary, obviously, got hurt the other day. What's just kind of the update on him? And then along with that, you mentioned the offensive adjustments that y'all made the other day. If it's Blake out there at quarterback, do y'all tweak things offensively to maybe more tailor it to what he does best?
No, I appreciate that. Gary right now is still day to day. I think he is getting treatment as we speak, and was up here most of yesterday doing that. And so I just know in talking to him, there's probably not going to be someone more determined to get back than him. And I think his Saturday evening there, his heart was broke, and so he's working really hard to come back. And if I were to bet, I'd bet on Gary. And then I think offensively, I think so much of it depends on the run game and how the run game goes. If the run game is going, it's going to open up play action pass, and it's going to open up opportunities to throw, particularly the deep ball, which both Gary and Blake have a good knack for. If the run game is not going, and there's not passes that are easy completions out there, then it's a matter of for Gary, it's getting him out of the pocket. For Blake, it may be chipping, max protect, and getting guys out late, and working mismatches or one-on-one matchups. So there is a little bit of a difference, but I think that is kind of down the line. It starts with getting the run game going, and by us doing what we can do, what things open up on their end that we can take advantage of.
Coach, Texas Tech has used 4 different quarterbacks so far this season. Obviously, Tyler Shuck's the one that won't be available. But how do you prepare when you could see any number of 3 QBs back there on Saturday?
I appreciate the question. I think there is a difference. I think there are different styles. I think particularly on Saturday, the ability to scramble and the ability to make plays when plays are broken down, I think really stands out, along with a really strong arm. And so some of the things that we've dealt with in the past on defense, keeping people in the pocket, right, and having integrity in our coverage, right, where we're tight on coverage and our eyes are not in the backfield and we're leaving guys alone. There was some of that creeping in on Saturday in our game. But improvements have been made there, and an emphasis surely has been made. I think for us, in playing Tech, they do a great job of seeing your weaknesses and really having a plan to attack those. And if there's things that you put on tape that have hurt you, they're gonna notice it, and they're gonna pull it out, and you can bet you're gonna see it. And so there is an element of our self scouts way important. And addressing the things that are on the tape there, and that's really going to be our focus. And with pass rush contain, with tighter scramble, plaster rules, with the ability to tackle and get off on third down. Those things the process of accomplishing those things, we feel are going to handle Texas Tech and what they're going to show us Saturday.
Hey, Coach, Jack Allen, 25 ABC in Waco. I'm just wondering, you touched on it a little bit, but how much does this week being Thanksgiving just change the practice schedule? What are y'all doing different this week just with that in mind?
No, appreciate that. Yeah, the schedules will stay the same, and so we will continue to practice at the same time, with the exception of Thursday. Thursday we'll practice in the morning so that we can get our guys home for their families for Thanksgiving dinner, and then Friday start a little bit late so that they can get on back and we can get in our routine. And so from now till Thursday, kind of a similar plan. But always excited to be practicing on Thanksgiving. It reminds me of being in high school, and when you were playing on or practicing on Thanksgiving morning, it meant you're having a pretty good season. It's a little bit different in college, but I think the guys still think of it that way, and those practices in the morning generally are fun. So looking forward to that.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Dave, what's your plan, or how will you treat this as senior day, or are y'all honoring those guys? And particularly with the COVID and stuff, how does that affect everything, I guess?
Yeah, have their families down there to recognize those guys. I think we've talked about it in here, just the number of them, the amount of them that could have left, the amount of, to go from a coach that was way one way to a coach that's way the other way, to go from winning to losing, to go from I don't understand what he's saying to maybe a little bit understanding, and to go through however many different coaches, is all asking a lot. And I just so appreciate this group, and the focus on who they are as people. I mean, they're great people. But to focus on it when maybe you haven't been asked to focus on it, and what does this have to do with football? When we're looking at ourselves and how we handle circumstance, and how we handle temperament and everything. It takes a lot of trust. So I appreciate that so much. I see that, and it's going to be, some of them have been around for a while, so I'm sure they want to get going. It's going to be sad to see them go.
Garrett Ross, Bears Illustrated. Dave, over the past couple of weeks, the recruiting battle between Baylor and Texas Tech has really started to heat up. How important is this game from a recruiting perspective, especially for the 2023 and 2024 classes?
Yeah, I always think, things like that, we're always going to do our due diligence on getting to know our people and showing them who we are, and showing them what makes Baylor Baylor, and it's really making the point that it's bigger than football. And I think that's a message that is going to resonate with some folks, and then for others it may not. And I think that's okay. I think the football game gives us an opportunity to show who we are. Right? There's a call that's made. Maybe we don't agree with the call. How do we handle that on the sideline? There's a push or a shove where we could retaliate and do this or do that, and we choose the right thing not to do it. When we celebrate as a team. When there is a big play on the far hash, our sideline's going crazy, right, for their brother that's on the field. When something bad happens, guys are picking each other up and finding the guy that made the mistake, knowing that he did not intentionally try to make the mistake, right? And show me, hey, that's something that you did. It's not who you are. Let's go. We got you. And so I think it's an opportunity to show all of that. And I think the more you put that out in people, I think they'll know what's real and what's not.
Okay, guys, last question here.
Dave, excuse me, Jalen Pitre has gone from a good player to an all Big 12 player the last 2 years. How have you seen him grow?
I think a lot. Yeah. So Jalen, so he has matured his playing style to fit the scheme. And I think it's difficult to do that, because I think when you're on a team, you have to take a little bit of yourself and sacrifice it for the team. And it's hard to do, especially when, there's a fair amount of tape from last year where if Jalen didn't make a play, there probably wasn't no one that was, and he's not only trying to make a play, he's trying to score, because there's probably no one else that's going to do that either. And so I think going through a whole year like that, I think most people, naturally just being people are going to think like that. Then to go through a year that validates that, and then to come on a team where now that type of belief or behavior could possibly hurt the team, and recognize that and work to change that and be you but align with us is way strong, man. And it speaks to his maturity and his growth, and I think it takes someone special to kind of go through all of that. It's easier to just pretend not to see that and just do your thing and then get out. So appreciate Jalen. Thank you, guys.